What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to LockettTech. Today we have kind of a different type of video. We've actually been having some issues with our Tesla that we're getting ready to take it into Tesla service today. So we figured we'd do a video about this, especially after our video a little bit ago. I'll put a link to that right up here, where one of the big things we were talking about is Tesla service in general and how it just really isn't as good as many of the other auto manufacturers out there service levels. Let me tell you guys about the problem in general and what's going on. A little while ago, we started having this problem with our trunk. We were actually, I think, stopping at like a UPS store, and we had a package in the trunk. And when we pulled in, we opened up the trunk like normal. I came back to get the package out of the trunk, and then when I went to go hit the button to close it, the trunk was completely not responsive. So I ended up having to close it manually, no big deal. But then all of a sudden, we weren't able to open it either. So it became kind of a really big deal. After about a day or so, we finally got it to open, and it was functioning normal in terms of the auto open close feature. But what we started to notice is that now it wasn't fully closing all the way whenever the trunk did close. So for example, we were getting alerts on our phone all the time after parking somewhere. About 10 minutes later, we would get an alert saying that our trunk is left open. It was also making loud thud noises when you were driving. If you went over a bump, you could hear that this wasn't properly seated and closed, and it was hitting against the metal. I mean, and you could actually hear the glass kind of shake a little bit. So we called Tesla service. Originally, we scheduled an at-home service appointment. Now, when we made the original appointment, it was about 2 weeks out, was the earliest that we were able to get an appointment. Fortunately enough, as I mentioned in that video, the guy that covers our area from Tesla Home Service, he is awesome and absolutely amazing. He was in the area doing another appointment. He knew that he had us about a week out on his schedule, and he just reached out to me and he was like, "Hey Chris, you know, I'm in the area, are you guys home? Could I come by and maybe take a look at it for you now?" So he hooked it up, came out early, took a look at it, and what he realized was the alignment is off on the trunk and it needs to be corrected. So he did try to fix it. This hinge right here, he said you have to kind of unscrew it and you have to realign it by pushing it up. It will go ahead and it'll kind of reseat the trunk so that it's perfectly aligned with the weather stripping and it sits. So he tried to do it himself while he was here. I even gave him a hand. I was kind of holding the trunk open while he loosened it, and we were both trying to push and get it to reset. He gave it his best effort. He was here for a good like hour and a half almost. He couldn't get it done. Totally understandable. It's one of those things that you just got to kind of take it into an actual shop, have a couple guys working on it so you can undo the screws all together and then kind of realign it. We are getting ready to head out there. Now, at the time when he made the appointment, the earliest appointment he could get us internally was about a week and a half out. We've been waiting another week and a half since he was here last. Finally, the time has come. In the meantime, we've been dealing with those loud thuds, noises every time we drive. And actually what we've seen recently is we even have a huge monster gap in our trunk now ever since he was here and he worked on it. Now, clearly he was able to make some adjustments, obviously not fully, because now we've got this monster gap over here. Look at this. Actually, this didn't even close. Now that it doesn't look closed at all. Yeah, it didn't close. I'm able to open it right up. What are the chances of actually being able to catch that on video? So as you guys saw, I hit the button. It was supposed to close and it didn't close. It came down, but it didn't actually latch. Let's try it again and see what happens. Let's bring it up. I'm gonna hit the button. And let's see if it closes this time. See, look, it did the same thing. It's not pulling closed. It closed, and instead of pulling down, it released and let it back up. You can see, look, it's not closed. It's not closed at all. Look at the gaps over here. I can just grab right here, and I can open it right back up. As you guys just saw, it's still not closing right. Now, I will say, this is the first time I've seen it where I can't even use the button. It's not closing at all. Hopefully I can get this to actually close so we can drive. Let's see. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it to manually close. So let's bring it down. There's nothing in the way. I mean, you guys can see there's nothing here. Let's bring it down and see what happens if we try to do it manually. All right. So there we go. We were able to pull it down ourselves, or push it down ourselves and get it to actually close, and it just latched up. But you can see, even though it's closed, look at the gaps that we have. Look at this. I can fit like almost my entire finger in there. Look at how huge these gaps are, coming all the way up. They are enormous. Now, thankfully, we've had some pretty good rain, and we haven't noticed. I mean, look, I can stick my entire finger, including the nail, in this hole. That's how big that gap is. Now, on the other side, the gap is pretty much normal. Actually, it's really tight over on this side. So over here, no issues. Now, we've always had a little bit of a decent sized gap over on this side, particularly up here, but not like this. I mean, this is, you can see into the trunk. I mean, look, you can see in there. He did tell us that it's okay, we're still gonna hear some noises, and that gap is still gonna be there, but he did give us permission to drive it. He said it's still completely safe to drive, so no issues there. Now, he told us this should be essentially a same day, in and out type of thing. He said that this shouldn't take very long at all. We'll see how all that's gonna play out and how long this takes. Now, this morning, we did get an alert from Tesla service that they're ready for our appointment today. They told us that it's gonna be a completely contactless drop-off. There's our problem. We'll let you know how we make out. All right, we are en route to the Tesla service center. There's Michelle in front of us right there. She's booking along in the Model Y. I've got my truck. So I thought I'd explain kind of our previous experiences with Tesla service, just to kind of be fair about it all. And I gotta stop this recording because all of a sudden I got a state trooper that just pulled out, and he's chilling behind us. And I don't know how he's gonna feel about me holding up a GoPro talking to a camera.
Pull over farther, man! I can't pull it! Sir, I'm already pulled over! He's already pulled over! He can't pull over any farther!
Okay, I feel a little bit better about our situation now. We have had 2 experiences with Tesla service. Is it 2? Was it 2? Yeah, it was 2. The first time we had experience with Tesla service, it was with Tesla Home Service. That was when we got our home link installed. When we scheduled it, it was like several weeks out before they can come out for it. Same guy that just came out as last time. He was awesome, as always, and he took care of it lickety-split. Matter of fact, we did a video on that. He even agreed to kind of show us along in the video. We just couldn't show his face. We'll go ahead and link to that Tesla Home Link video right here. Then, I would say about 2 months into ownership, we had to have our next experience with Tesla service. We kind of had 2 different issues happen at the same time. The first issue that happened was the second row seat behind the driver on the driver's side wasn't releasing to fold up so you can get into the 3rd row behind it. So that was issue number 1. Coincidentally, at the same time, we also happened to notice that we had an insane amount of paint damage. I mean, we've talked about that before in the past, about why PPF is so important, especially on that back panel there, because it flares out and your front tires, if you don't have mud flaps, it just kicks everything back and it damages that area. There was all sorts of white specks from paint damage that was on there, and it was after only like 2 months of ownership, and I was like, that's really unacceptable. It's not like we've taken this thing off-roading. To have that much damage that soon into ownership, I just didn't think was right. So I told Tesla about it, and Tesla agreed. They were like, look, you know, as a courtesy, we'll give the door a respray and we'll fix that issue when you bring it in. So we did. So that part of it I thought was kind of cool that they were standing behind it, and I give Tesla service credit for that. They said, bring your car in, you know, it should be about a week or 2 weeks until you get the car back. Ended up taking 3 weeks to do the repair because there were some delays in getting the latch system replacement, and then there were a lot of delays when it came to getting the door resprayed in their paint shop. They kept us in the loop with the whole thing, but it took 3 weeks. 3 weeks was a really long time, and that's kind of what we talk about when we talk about there are issues with Tesla service. Now, the Tesla service people, like I said, for the most part, they were pretty nice. The people at our Devon Center, I've always had good experiences with them. They've always been nice to me. All right, look at all these new Teslas right here. This is usually the new side with all the new ones. All right, Devon Tesla Center, here we are. Jam-packed parking lot on the other side. Holy smokes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is like insanity. Roadster. All right, let's go check this out. This is one packed parking lot right here. We got a Tesla Roadster. You don't see them all the time. That's kind of cool. These are usually the loaners that are getting ready to go out. However, there's a lot of new wraps on them. So Michelle is inside figuring out the key drop situation. Tesla doesn't allow you to film inside their buildings, so I'm kind of hanging out here. But look at this lot and how packed this lot is. Our car is saying in service on the app. I have no access. So that's usually what will happen when your car is in service. You lose the ability to do anything in your car on the app. It'll say that it's in service, and then you just have the option to kind of go into the service button and see any updates or notes that they left for you. Ooh, look how tight that is. Holy smokes. That was some good driving. All right, we have it dropped off. We are navigating this extremely tight Tesla parking lot here. Michelle's gonna kind of recap for us how the process was, what she had to do, and then she actually ended up talking to them too.
So overall, the service appointment to get checked in is pretty simple. The app says go to the drop box, which by the way, the drop box does say it's a nighttime drop box, but that is not accurate. It is the all the time drop box. So you fill out the envelope, it's just a couple little questions. Take your keys, put it in the envelope, put it in the drop box. As soon as we pulled into the parking lot, there was nothing that I did. It automatically recognized that we were at the service appointment. And then as Chris had said, it makes your kind of car not drivable at that point in time once we parked. The gentleman said, which I was very surprised with, they have an overnight crew for their work shift. So he doesn't anticipate our car being longer than 24 hours. So hopefully the night shift will have our car fixed, the trunk back to working. We'll get a message, and as soon as we get that message, we're able to go pick up our car.
That is crazy to me that they have an overnight crew to work on repairs. Like, it's like they're doing repairs 24/7. That is crazy. Clearly they have a lot of cars that they're working on, and they're trying to pump them through, and they're trying to get everything out in a reasonable time frame, that they literally have crews working on stuff 24/7. That's nuts. So for us, it's gonna be like a day, two, maybe even more. That's, cross our fingers, hope not. For you, it'll be like 10 seconds. So let's go, guys. So it has been, it's actually been 2 days since we dropped off the Tesla originally. Now, it didn't take 2 days for them to repair it and get it fixed. It actually only took them a few hours. Tesla wasn't kidding when they said that they have crews that are working around the clock in their service center, which quite honestly, I'm super impressed by. It really shows a level of commitment that they're willing to do in order to step up their service standards. So that was really awesome to see. At about 8:30 at night, we got a text saying that our car was done. All we had to do was bring our key card and we can grab it from the lot. So we went at like 10 o'clock at night. We went much later just to kind of get it done and over with. We picked up the car. Obviously we couldn't film because it was late at night and there was just no lighting. And then the next day it ended up pouring rain here, so we weren't able to capture it on video. But today it's actually a nice day, so let me show you guys what they did. The big issue was over here on the driver's side with the trunk. Look at the gap now. I can't fit my finger in there at all. This looks absolutely solid all the way up. The gap up here, honestly, in my opinion, I still think that's a little bit big of a gap. But we've always had a pretty big gap up here, but the gap down here looks a lot better. But when we go ahead and we push the button to close it, we have no latching problems. It's all good. Good to go. When we ride inside the car, we have no issues as well. It doesn't make any noises. It doesn't do any of that stuff. So we have no problems now with the trunk. It was all covered under warranty, which I expected. But the big super good news in all of this is that Tesla service, they outshined themselves. I, again, was super impressed that they took the car in at the end of the day, was able to turn it around and get it done in a matter of probably took about 5 or 6 hours. It was about 10:30 when we pulled into the Tesla lot. That shop, the service center, they were going full bore. I mean, all lights were on, guys were walking in and out. I mean, you would have thought it was 11 o'clock in the afternoon. So clearly, they are working round the clock in order to meet service service needs and ensure a good service experience. 24/7, round-the-clock service work is what Tesla is aiming to deliver, and I gotta say, it is really impressive. Let me know down below in your area. First of all, let us know where you're from, right? And then also let us know what has been your experience with Tesla service. Maybe it's a regional issue. Maybe certain pockets around the country is where Tesla service is having some quality issues. Figure it out and narrow it down. Thank you so much, Tesla service, for the awesome job that you guys are doing and for the clear focus on improving service. And hopefully it helped you guys out as well. If it did, as always, make sure to chuck a like on this video. It always helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, which YouTube is still saying like 80% of you guys still aren't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and we'll see you in another one real soon.